How many of you here know what Peaches Neet Feet is? Oh, good. Most hands went up. That's exciting. So those of you that don't know, it is a nonprofit. We're based out of New Mexico that uses art and the science of caring to celebrate children who have cancer, disabilities, and other lifelong illnesses and diagnoses. We serve more than 75 different diagnoses all over the nation. We custom paint shoes to celebrate the children for who they are, beyond their journey, beyond their battle, beyond their diagnosis, beyond their labels. Each pair of shoes we like to call a shoelace, allowing us to connect with the children and their families, which opens up doors to build relationships, build a community, and also provide care packages or other needs that the family may need. We also get to connect with these families, help them get other outside resources. Sometimes it's a wheelchair, sometimes it's a playground, sometimes it's financial help. Whatever we can do, we're there. And when I say we have a small staff, but we have a large amount of volunteers. We have over 35 volunteer artists, amongst other volunteers that help us keep the organization going. And we now have a local art center here called the Mad Lab. We have art classes for ages 12 months up to, 18. And it's a happy and safe place that we like to welcome our children and families to come, to be expressive, to be themselves, to be open, to learn new things, and make new friends and be connected. Again, that community piece is really important to us. And all the proceeds that we make there go back to fund our kindness-based mission at Peaches Neet Feet. So, some of you might be wondering, what does all that have to do with tonight and Take Back the Night and bringing awareness to sexual assault? That's because I'm a survivor of sexual assault. I was raped or assaulted, for those of you that aren't comfortable with the R word. I was 15, I was a virgin, I had never even touched a man's wing dang doodle. My parents, luckily, were open and honest, and conversations about sexual activities was not a taboo topic in our home. I had 4 older siblings. The conversations had happened. I had been around. I knew sort of what to expect. It wasn't something that I was, ready for, but I wasn't afraid of. Again, 15, one night I was sober. We were watching a movie in my very own bedroom, in my very own home, my family downstairs doing their own thing, watching movies. I thought, we're really just gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna get to know this guy. And we did a little making out, no big deal. And then from there, he forcefully pulled down my pants, left them on, left my shirt on. No protection, not even any foreplay, no conversation, nothing. It was so painful that I couldn't breathe, let alone talk. And I just remembered wanting it to stop, and minutes felt like hours. And when it was done, he walked out of my room and out of my front door without a word said, leaving me a disastrous mess, tears rolling down my face, my bedding completely ruined, frozen little ball on the floor, all alone, not even sure what just happened. Left there for my older brother to find me. And from there, he ran a hot bath, and he got me through that night. For the longest time, I didn't call it rape. I didn't call it assault. I didn't call it anything. I pretended that it didn't happen. I felt isolated. I felt ruined. I felt like if people knew that it happened to me, that they would look at me completely different. I felt stupid. How could this happen to me? Well, guess what? It can happen to anybody, it turns out. And the perpetrator can be anyone, even someone you think you trust, or maybe someone you've known for years. We all think that there's some sort of stereotypical situation that normal sexual assault happens, or that is associated with, but that's where we go wrong. I was a straight A student, I was a cheerleader, I was a popular kid. I felt like I was an all around pretty good daughter, sister, friend. I just happened to be in a bad situation with the wrong person that I thought I trusted. No one likes to talk about these things. It makes them uncomfortable. And no one likes to talk about the effects after it happens. The emotional trauma, the physical trauma, the risk of STDs, of pregnancy, of someone's life being completely turned upside down. I know all about this. It's disabling. But over the last 2 years, I've been able to tell my story. I've been able to talk to students in high schools, and one of the coolest things about that is that after every time I go to a high school and talk, there is at least one student, if not more, that will either approach me after I speak and share their story much similar to mine, or I'll get letters in the mail or emails or Facebook messages. Every high school I've gone to in the last 2 years, there's been one, at least one, that have been able to be brave enough to share their story. And I hope that, every time that I get to tell that story, whether to a group of adults or high school students or college students or just a friend, that it somehow impacts them. Whether maybe they can relate, they can connect, or it brings awareness that this is something that happens and it can happen to anyone. And so like everyone else in this room, I like to call myself a homo narran, which is a storytelling person. And I hope that in telling my story, others can feel connected, they can feel inspired, and they can feel hopeful. That their life doesn't have to stop when something traumatic happens. For me, I was able to move past that. It was a long journey, it was a hard journey. But through the work with Peach's Neat Feet, the power of kindness and compassion, I like to think I could be a soul lantern for others, shine light on the good things that they are made up of. My soul lanterns were my brother, they were my mom, there was Mother Nature, and it was art. They saved my life nearly 10 years ago, and now the kids and families that I get to work with inspire me daily. Our stories may not always be pretty or easy to tell, but they're ours. The ugly, dark holes in our stories don't have to define who we are or who we might become or who we want to be. Today I call myself a survivor, but I believe that beyond that I'm much more. I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a girlfriend, I'm a founder of a really cool nonprofit, I'm a friend, I'm a soul lantern. And we all have the ability to be someone's soul lantern and help guide the way. Thank you.
Madison, thank you so much for sharing your story. Can we give her another big round of applause?